Enter a struggling 29-year-old actress and recent war widow known by her stage name, Pauline Cushman.
Miss Cushman.
Yes.
I believe you know these gentlemen.
I do believe I do, yes.
Cushman moves to Louisville to perform for a local theater.
Louisville was a place, obviously it was under Union control technically, but many of the men of the state served in Confederate regiments.
I thought that you might want to join us at the tavern tonight. Is that of interest to you?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be wonderful to have you.
And sometimes they would be off duty. They would be hanging out in a place, you know, in a tavern, intermingling.
Cushman is a strong supporter of the Union, but in Louisville becomes acquainted with a pair of captured rebel officers, released on parole.
I recognize them as agreeable friends, apart from any political consideration.
Miss Cushman, we do have a proposition for you. We would like to propose you make a speech during your next play, all right?
Oh.
They proposed, at first laughingly,
You think we should tell her?
and then seriously, I would step forward in front of the stage and offer the following toast.
All you gotta say is, here's to Jeff Davis and the Southern Confederacy. May the South always maintain her honor and her rights.
Lieutenant Clem.
We're in mixed company, all right, Lieutenant?
Well, that is quite a proposal. Such a proposition would have to be made worth my while.
Cushman, no, we're willing to offer you $300, all right? Ma'am, don't laugh.
$300.
Don't laugh, will you?
They are asking her to give a toast to the President of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis. In a time of war, the amount, some $6,000 in today's money,
It's all yours.
would be hard to pass up.
If I say the speech.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Well, now, that is quite an offer.
But being on Union turf, the stunt could cost her her career, even her reputation. She reports the incident to the head of the local United States military police. To her surprise, he is thrilled. They were in the process of planning a big forward push. The Army is looking for people to send behind enemy lines, and this toast could provide Cushman the cover she would need to pose as a Confederate sympathizer.
Well, by agreeing to do this toast in front of an audience that's loyal to the United States, here she's standing up praising Jefferson Davis. I mean, she makes herself incredibly vulnerable.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yes, just trying to remember all these new entrances and exits.
5 minutes, Miss Cushman.
Thank you.
It was now on Cushman to either deliver the performance of a lifetime
That'll be all. Give me a moment.
or return to a life of relative obscurity.
Armed and fortified, I commenced my new role that very evening, feeling satisfied that I could serve my country. Perhaps importantly,
The house is packed. Both her U.S. Army contact and her rebel acquaintances are in attendance.
You're on, Miss Cushman. To your phone.
Why, sister, I see you finally arrived on time.
I'm always on time, aren't I?
Well, a little bird told me you're having a little trouble learning how to flirt.
Me, flirting.
Well, it's all about directing his gaze, whether you want him to look here, or here, or here.
May I have my drink? Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much for coming this evening to see our little ditty. To Jefferson Davis and the Southern Confederacy, may the South always have her honor and her rights.
I don't understand what just happened.
Miss Cushman, are you all right? Please, please leave me.
You can't just
Let's
leave.
just
You're
get you out of
under
this
contract.
dress. Please.
I don't understand.
Please, leave me.
She was trying to do something that would serve her country ultimately in the end. But she was also adventurous, she was daring. She was somebody always seeking a role in this society, in a society that didn't give a white middle-class woman very many roles.
She is now seen as a rebel sympathizer, and she is far away from any of her family or old friends. She is the perfect spy. Her first forays into the world of spycraft come in and around Louisville. Leaning on her newfound reputation, she drinks and shoots pool with Confederates, sometimes dressing as a man. Anything to tease out useful information.
Spycraft in this time meant getting physically in the space of the enemy, getting to know them personally.
Women were always involved in military conflicts, and they are extremely important for the relaying of information, working as spies, and in some cases even serving in the military in official capacities.
Good morning, Miss Cushman.
Good morning, Colonel Moore.
What do you know?
Well, a brigade from Hardee's Corps went through Shelbyville here recently.
You know which brigade?
No, I didn't overhear.
Anything else?
Well, Bragg's forces also had a bout of cholera run through them about the same time.
You know where?
Liberty
Gap?
Liberty Gap.
Very good, Miss Cushman. Very good.
Thank you, Colonel.
We'll be in touch.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Cushman.
Thank you.
Her next mission will take her 175 miles south to Nashville. Nashville is occupied by Union forces, but she is just a few miles to the Confederate lines. Cushman next makes contact with Nashville's Chief of Army Police, Colonel William Truesdale.
Thank you.
Ah, Miss Cushman.
Colonel,
Please, take a seat.
thank you.
Do you take tea?
Oh, tea would be lovely. Thank you kindly.
How would you like to take a trip to see General Bragg?
I would welcome the opportunity, Colonel.
Now, there's a few things we need to review before we send you across enemy lines.
So General Rosecrans is planning a campaign against Bragg, and he's not entirely certain where Bragg is entrenched and where the bulk of his forces are.
The Confederate Army has been in retreat. Morale under Bragg, the notoriously temperamental general, is low. But Rosecrans doesn't yet have enough information to launch his next attack.
Pauline Cushman was instructed to figure out where the forts are, where the troops are, and report back.
Armed with a six-shooter and some emergency medical supplies, Cushman is dropped off a few miles outside of town, far from the prying eyes of enemy scouts.
Thank you.
Some of the dangers of being a spy included the danger of being captured, being executed for one's crime.
You must take on the role of a woman searching for her brother in the Confederate Army.
I do have a brother. His name is William.
Let this, to all appearances, be the all-absorbing object of your thoughts and affections. Casually alluding, however, to your ill treatment by the federal officers in Nashville, thrusting you out of the city, alone and unprotected.
And I didn't even have time to procure my baggage.
And they didn't even allow you time to procure your baggage. Good.
Cushman's cover was a really smart cover because this was pretty common in the border states for families like hers to be divided.
Halt! Who goes there?
Please, I mean you no harm. I've just been expelled out of Nashville and just looking for some respite.
You're from Nashville, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, would you like a cup of coffee?
That would be most welcome.
She will attempt to hopscotch from one military camp to the next in an effort to ultimately get to General Bragg.
Miss Cushman, you cannot nor will not make any memorandum or tracings of any kind. Is that clear?
Yes, Colonel.